and they have the money, but they can't use it. Across India, people are rising up in protest over a surprise government scheme to eliminate 86% of the currency notes. It's created a knock-on effect across every sector of the economy.
Do you think India's move is justified to help fight corruption? We have a poll running on Twitter at AJ English, and as always, you can connect with us with the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
Now, government forces are also battling armed opposition in the capital, Damascus suburbs. The Syrian army has reached a deal with rebel forces in a neighborhood on the outskirts of Damascus. We'll have more on that later in the news grid, and we'll be speaking to Joshua Landis, a Syria expert, and ask him what this all means in the war for Syria. And let's bring in Leah now, social media producer. And you've been speaking, Leah, to someone inside Aleppo. This is someone who we've spoken to in the past.
Right. Bana is her name. She's 7 years old. I've been talking to her mom. Her mom, Fatima, set up this Twitter account for her daughter earlier this year and has been live tweeting essentially the war in Syria. They're in eastern Aleppo, and yesterday things became incredibly grim for the family of 4. There are 3 kids and Fatima in this family. This went out yesterday, last message under heavy bombardment. When we die, keep talking for the 200,000 inside. A very gruesome tweet that normally is usually upbeat, saying how Bana's staying healthy, how she's staying active, and something that I found while talking to Fatima on direct message on Twitter is the hope that Bana has when she is talking to people outside of Aleppo, like myself, that she gets great joy in knowing that the world is watching, and people were definitely watching 18 hours ago when this picture came up. This is of little Bana here, just 7 years old, after her home was destroyed in the latest wave of violence and bombardment in eastern Aleppo. And the latest here for them that Fatima has put out is that they are now running and they are leaving eastern Aleppo. I've asked Fatima before, why are you still in Aleppo? Why haven't you tried to leave? She said, you're either going to die in Aleppo or you're going to die trying to get out. So they are currently, as we're on air right now, they are escaping eastern Aleppo and have begun that journey. The white helmets also in Aleppo are saying that 42 people were killed and 200 were injured in Aleppo on Sunday, something that the death toll definitely continues to rise there. Something that I also found quite interesting is the severe emotional disorders that are going along with the people that have lived through these strikes. The International Medical Corps put this up here. Here's the severe emotional disorder list here. Syrian refugees rank among the highest for that. And but there is still some happiness to talk about. This is Bana. This is before, of course, the latest bombardment. She has 100,000 plus followers on Twitter. One of them, J.K. Rowling, who sent her an ebook of Harry Potter. Let's have a listen to this.
My friend, how are you? I started reading your books. Thank you very, very much. I love you. Harry Potter.
So that's J.K. Rowling's book, Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling sent her that book saying here, Bana, this made me so happy. You can connect with us with the hashtag AJNewsGrid on this story.
Right, and I want to talk a bit more about this story and ask you, Leah, because I know a lot of people have been asking, how come she's able to tweet when there's bombing going on around her? And a lot of people actually doubting this story and what she's been talking about.
Right, a lot of the comments on these pictures that Fatima have been tweeting are saying that this may not be real. Well, I have been talking to her. She has a verified account and posted a picture of herself. This is Fatima with her daughter Bana on the cell phone saying, we are praying to stop this massive war. At the end of the day, they're trying to tell the message that there are children and humans involved in this conflict. And Fatima is one of those voices and is one that here at Al Jazeera we trust and believe from the inside.
All right, Leah, thank you very much indeed. Hashtag AJNewsGrid if you want to comment on this story. And there's a comment right now, a very interesting one coming from India on Facebook. And it says, it's been 3 weeks that people are facing serious problems of getting cash from bank and ATM. The decision taken by the Prime Minister is not bad, but he should give a solution. And Leah, this is exactly what's being reflected across social media.
Right, because there's not been a proposed solution that a lot of people like so far. That's one reason that the opposition have called today the Day of Rage. So all the different opposition communities have come together and are really pushing this, especially online. I have this heat map here for you. It shows you exactly where this conversation is taking place around the hashtag Janakrosh Diwas, which means the Day of Rage. Of course, in the UAE, there's a very strong community there of Indians. And then in India itself, if I just zoom in here to just show you the hot spots within India where we're talking, an international conversation, but clearly a very national conversation as well. And we wanted to ask you at home what you thought about this. India's demonetization plan has caused economic chaos for some, but is it worth it to fight corruption? 50% of you, 50% say yes. Just 31% say no. Quite a few of you left some great comments here, like Hafiz here. He says, I feel it's rather abrupt where the locals have a hard time to adjust and assimilate. That's because, like Fez Jamil said in his report, about 90% of India's cash transactions are done in cash, but this think tank who work for the government put this little video out on social media trying to encourage people to switch to the tech days and use a credit card. So there's a push going on from the government to get people plugged into banks, especially with a card in their hand. With the demonetization happening, it has also really stifled the tourism industry here. This is a video I found at Hindustan Times of some tourists here. These people are from Sweden who are having to perform in the street to just make a little extra cash. They do not have enough money to get to the train stations, which is a growing problem as well. So this is not the first time I want to bring up that this has happened. In 1978, as R.K. Laxman here did in a cartoon, in 1978, the government of India also tried to ban the 1,000 rupee note that obviously came back because now we're fighting it again. But this cartoon just shows that this has been an ongoing conversation to try to get the black money out of India's market. We've had a lot of great response from you at home, including on WhatsApp. If you have any information about demonetization, how it's affected you, you can send us a message. But we got these interesting little sound bites for you we want to play from you right out of India.
The government has failed drastically in its planning and implementation of the whole plan. In my state of Manipur, it took 5 days for the 2,000 rupee notes to reach the capital, and the 500 rupee notes are still not here yet. Therefore, the ATMs are shut, people have run out of cash, and the prices of commodities have skyrocketed. Even to the extent of media houses being shut down because people have no lower denominations to pay for newspapers.
I strongly support demonetization plan of Mr. Narendra Modi. I can compare this with a chemotherapy treatment to root out cancer in the form of corruption from the nation system. If not immediate, I'm sure the generation next of Indian population will be benefited. Thank you, Mr. Modi.